All right. Good afternoon, Warren. Thanks for coming in today. How are you?
Good, thank you.
That's good. You got here okay?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. All right. So, as I say, thank you for coming in, and I've got a glass of water there for you. If at any time throughout this you need to take a break. What?
I can. Oh, okay.
That's what you got to do. You got to make people feel warm and welcome and safe. Okay.
Okay.
You know, take the glass of water away.
You have to lose it. You can edit that bit out.
It's gone now.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking chopping and changing.
You're not going to start again.
I have to.
You do not. Do you? Okay, let's do it. Come on, let's get this done.
Good afternoon, Warren. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, that's good. You got here okay?
Yep.
Yeah, not too much traffic out there?
No, it wasn't too bad.
Oh, that's good. All right, so Warren, you've made an appointment with us today to come in and have a little bit of a chat about some stuff that's going on for you in relation to some substance use. So what we're going to do this morning is we're going to go through a what we call an alcohol use disorders identification test. So what it does is it enables me to have a little bit of a look at your drinkings, if there's any patterns associated with them, and then to see if we can come up with any strategies, set some goals and objectives together to help you to work towards making some changes if that's what you're looking at doing. How's that sound?
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, cool. So first thing I need to tell you is that anything you share with me today will be completely confidential. Should there be anything you tell me that I think puts you at harm or anyone else at harm, I will have to let my team know. But previous to this, when you did your intake, you did sign a consent form. So if there is anything we need to speak to anyone else about, we will let you know first. Is that all okay with you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. All right, Warren, so what we're going to do is we're just going to, may I please have my pen? Thank you. We're just going to go through this alcohol use disorders test, and the best thing you can do is answer these questions honestly and openly. And if you want any more clarification around what they mean, then just let me know. All right, so question number 1 is, how often do you have a drink containing alcohol?
I don't usually drink during the week, so it's really only a weekend thing.
Okay, so the options here are never, monthly or less, 2 to 4 times a month, 2 to 3 times a week, or 4 or more times a week.
2 to 4 times a month.
2 to 4 times a month, yep. And may I ask, Warren, around that, when you do drink on the weekends, when you say you don't drink during the week, you only drink on weekends, is it quite a lot when you do drink? Like, is it just one session and it ends there, or is it quite a lot?
No, it usually starts when I finish work on a Friday, and then would sometimes kick on until Sunday.
Yep. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, how many standard drinks do you think you would have on a typical day when you are drinking?
Or a typical day or a typical session? Because my sessions can last over a day.
Yeah, so because you've told me that your drinking is weekend, and sometimes it can go from Friday to Sunday, in that period of time, how many standard drinks would you say you were having when you consider that a standard drink is a small beer?
Is there an option there, or is it just a rough line?
Yeah, there is options. So it's 1 or 2, 3 or 4, 5 or 6, 7 to 9, or 10 or more.
10 or more, definitely.
Thank you. How often do you have 6 or more drinks on one occasion? Less than monthly, monthly, weekly, daily, or almost daily?
I'd say weekly.
Weekly. How often during the last year have you found that you were not able to stop drinking once you have started? Less than monthly, monthly, weekly, daily, or almost daily?
Weekly.
So do you find, Warren, that when you pick up that drink on a Friday, you find it really hard to stop until the Sunday?
Yeah, that'd be a fair statement, yeah. It's just my release, so...
What do you think makes it hard for you to stop?
Because once I stop, it's going to be a return to reality.
When you say return to reality, Warren, what does that look like?
For me, reality is a fairly bleak place. There's not a lot for me to get excited about. So I get excited about the weekends.
Thank you. So excited about weekends because during the week you feel like you're not very happy a lot of the time.
Yeah. That's a fair way of putting it. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with me, Warren. How often during the last year have you failed to do what was normally expected of you because of drinking?
Look, I don't plan too much for the weekends because I know that that's what I'm generally going to be doing. But there's been a couple of times, like for social situations, at social occasions, at which I haven't gone to because I just haven't been able to. Just been absolutely too far gone to be able to navigate social situations like that.
So you'd say that's weekly as well?
Oh no, it's not weekly. No, it's not every week I have something on, but
monthly?
Once every couple of months or so.
Less than monthly?
People don't really invite me to stuff too much anymore because of that.
Because of your drinking? Yeah, okay. Just around that question, Warren, does it, when you've failed to do stuff that's normally expected of you, you've shared a lot with me about social stuff. Does it ever involve work commitments or family commitments that you don't show up to?
Well, the social thing can be family commitments, but because I don't drink during the week, it never stops me from, never holds me back from work. I don't let my drinking affect work.
Mm-hmm. So when you're drinking from a Monday to a Friday to a Sunday, are you drinking alone?
Generally, it doesn't start out like that. I start out, meet a couple of mates at the pub or something like that, but yeah, a lot of the times I end up kicking on and just basically being at home by myself all weekend.
Why do you think it ends up that way, Warren?
Because other people know when to stop.
Okay. How often during the last year have you needed a first drink in the morning to get yourself going after a heavy session?
I've never seen it as a need. It's just I'm awake, so I keep drinking again. I pass out from drinking the night before. When I wake up, usually finish off what I've got next to me and then keep going at it.
So you say you don't feel like it's a need. Why do you think you feel like you have to do that? Is it just, do you think it's habitual? Do you think there's something more around that?
Oh, I would say I've never really given it any thought, but
do you wake up feeling unwell?
After drinking? Oh yeah, wake up feeling seedy as, but I think it's, as I say, it's just an escape. I just use it as an escape. I seem to be free of worries and that sort of thing.
Okay, so you would say, does that happen every weekend or would that be a monthly thing?
Oh no,
that you have to have a drink
every weekend. Yeah. It's very rare. I can't remember the last time I've gone a weekend without having a drink.
Okay. How often during the last year have you had a feeling of guilt or remorse after drinking? And that's your same options again. You're never less than monthly, weekly, daily, or almost daily.
Look, every couple of months. When I miss out on something because of drinking, that's when I feel. But I don't. Just on a week by week thing, it doesn't affect me. It's my life. I can do what I want.
So less than monthly?
How often do I feel regret?
Remorse.
Remorse.
Or guilt.
Well, yeah, less.
So you've got less than monthly.
Yeah,
weekly.
less than. Sorry, less than monthly. Sorry.
And when you feel that guilt or remorse, you did say that it's usually when you've missed out or something. Do you ever just get the guilt or remorse feeling for yourself? that
No.
you know that you should be doing? Do you feel like you shouldn't be doing what you're doing? No?
No, it doesn't. When I haven't got any family, I've got a family that cares about me. I haven't got any kids or anything like that. So, you know, it's as I say, it's my time. I work hard. I, you know, pay the bills, all that sort of stuff. So when it's my time, I can spend it doing what I want.
Do you feel like the weekends are a reward sometimes?
Yeah, I guess you could put it like that. I hadn't thought about it like that, but I guess you could. A reward for making it through another week.
How often during the last year have you been unable to remember what happened the night before because of your drinking?
In a word, very.
So would you say that every time you drink on the weekends, that happens? You can't remember the night before?
Oh, pretty much. Yeah. Definitely. Friday night when I wake up, Saturday I can often remember, but by Saturday night on Sunday morning I can't remember what I did most of Saturday afternoon.
How does that make you feel, Warren?
I don't feel remorse or anything like that. As I say, I just feel like I'm existing. So it's just, you know, everyone walks their own path. This is my path that I'm walking.
Have you ever had any kind of screening like this done before, Warren?
No, not really.
Do you see a GP regularly?
No.
No? If we were to keep working together, would that be something that you might be interested in doing?
A GP for what reason?
Just to see if we can get you some health checks done, some health screenings, just in relation to you disclosing the volume of alcohol that you're drinking, just to you know, get your general checkups done, blood tests, that kind of thing, considering your age and the volume of alcohol.
Well, I mean, look, I guess I'm not going to sit outside the doctor's surgery waiting for them, knocking on the window, waiting for them to open up. But I mean, if this path that I'm on ends up leading towards that, then I'd be open for it.
Because you've obviously come in here today, Warren, with some kind of issue or concern that something isn't quite right. You know, you're kind of really contemplating, is there something not right for me around this area of my life? So, you know, if I can be of assistance in incorporating medical professionals into your journey, and then we might look at some other suggestions around your social stuff. How would that sound?
Yeah. I'm just.
There's absolutely no pressure. It would just be let's see what the results of this come back as. Have you or someone else been injured because of your drinking?
Oh yeah, bumps and scratches, stuff like that. But I mean, I've never had a car crash or anything like that from drinking, if that's what you mean. But no, I've done some stupid things.
So no, yes, but not in the last year, or yes during the last year.
Oh yes, during the last year, yeah, certainly. Yeah.
Has a relative, friend, doctor, or other health worker been concerned about your drinking and suggested that you cut down?
Oh, I don't really see my relatives, so no. Actually, I think one of my workmates might have said something about it a little while ago. But I didn't really pay attention.
Okay. Can I just go back a little bit there for the question around how often during the last year have you failed to do what was normally expected of you because of your drinking? You said that sometimes the social stuff in there may involve your family. Did they ever suspect that it was because of your drinking, or did you feel like you covered it up pretty well?
Look, I've never openly spoken to them about it, but it wouldn't surprise me if they had their suspicions.
Yeah, okay. But just your work friend has mentioned something to you previously, but you didn't really pay attention.
No, I mean, I've got a couple of workmates, they're the ones I go out drinking with. They just, you know, typical thing, like, oh, you're a legend, you're going on again. You know, you whatever. But...
So you feel like they possibly glorify it a little bit?
Oh, yeah, to an extent. But it doesn't energise me to drink more, their opinion, it's just something I do.
So... was that in the last year that got mentioned by a workmate?
Yeah, it was within the last... would have been within the last month or two, I'd say.
Okay. No problems. All right, so that's the 10 questions as part of the screening, but I just want to ask you a couple of extra questions. You've come in and made an appointment to come and see us today. Do you think you presently have a problem with drinking?
Look, my drinking wouldn't be healthy. I feel like it's something I do to pass the time. If I could get myself something else to do, a hobby or I don't know, something, then I don't see I would have an issue stopping drinking.
Have you tried to stop before?
No, not really, to be honest. That's why I feel that if I had a reason to, I don't think I would find it that hard.
In the next 3 months, how difficult do you think you might find it to cut down or to stop drinking? Easy, very easy, fairly easy, neither difficult nor easy, fairly difficult or very difficult?
Purely with nothing else changing but my drinking, I'd find it probably very difficult. Okay, but if there was some sort of incentive added or something for me to do instead that captured my attention, then I think I'd find it quite easy.
When you say incentive added, what do you mean?
Oh, just something else to fill up the time on between a Friday afternoon and a Monday morning.
What might that be?
Oh, I don't know. I have thought about it, but...
Have you ever done any activities in the past?
In what sort of time frame?
Well, since before your drinking got out of control every weekend, even if we have to go back to when you're, quite a lot younger, did you ever enjoy going out fishing or kicking the ball or, anything like that to pass the time? Do you have any computer game interests? Is there anything that you can kind of, if we were to sit down and come up with a plan, what do you think might be on that if things were to be thrown in the center of the table? What interests?
You know what? I couldn't tell you really. So I have given this a bit of thought in the past to, how about I do something a bit different this weekend than just the same old thing. But what am I supposed to do? Go to a freaking art gallery or something like that?
What do you think about if we come up with a plan to try and help you initially to start to cut down the amount of drinking that you're doing on the weekends? That might help you to get a little bit of motivation back and start to explore some interests on your own because you're not consuming all of the time that you have with drinking.
So what was the first part of that question, sorry?
If we could come up with a plan to maybe assist you to cut down how much alcohol you're having from a Friday to Sunday, so you're a little bit more motivated.
Well, yeah, okay. Look, as long as it's not like, knitting or something stupid, if it's...
I think you'd be a great knitter, Warren.
Probably would. But yeah, if it's something that could, capture my attention, capture my imagination, then look, I can't, as much as I sort of enjoy it, it's probably not the best for me to keep going the way I'm going, which is why I'm here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but yeah.
Do you think answering these questions has helped you to come to that realisation more so than when you first walked in here?
It's gotten me to think a bit more.
Yeah, definitely.
Where, it's easy to just be on those train tracks, follow the tracks, stay in the rut. So when something like this comes up, which just sort of gets you to, I don't know, look over the edges of the rut to something else, then maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Good. So this, when we do these interventions and do these tests, it gives us a score at the end. And I'm pretty sure based on the answers that you've given me, you might have a little bit of a rough idea because you've really answered the questions yourself and been able to have some self-awareness that your drinking isn't healthy for you the way you're going at the moment. Did you want me to let you know what your score was for this test and let you know what bracket that you're sitting in so we can help to devise a treatment plan and move forward?
This was a test.
Yeah, it's what's called an alcohol use disorders identification test. So it's an audit. So basically what it's doing is helping you to identify what your alcohol use looks like. So you've passed the test because you answered all the questions.
Mm.
But what I'm asking is, did you want to know what, based on what you've told me, what the outcome looks like for you, or are you happy with what we've discussed? So
I don't think I need to know that sort of thing. No,
Yeah,
no, I
okay.
think.
That's fine, no worries. Well, this will be on your file anyway, Warren. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to devise a treatment plan. And moving forward, we're going to work to look at some harm minimisation techniques. And what that means is, how can we help come up with some plans for you to cut down your drinking?
Mm-hmm.
You know, some little things. Instead of having 50 beers from a Friday to a Sunday, how do we help you to reduce that to 30? And then start to implement some plans to gradually bring that down. And start incorporating some activities into your weekend that might help you to feel like you've got a little bit more of a purpose. Does that kind of summarise what we've spoken about today?
I think so. I think,
Yeah.
you know, generally that kind of, as you say, summarises it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks for coming in today, Warren. And we'll see you in a fortnight's time and we'll go over the treatment plan together. But between now and then, do your best and stay safe, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Chuckers.
You know what? Just about 20 minutes into that, or whatever it was, I thought, oh, thank God.